Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC comic review. And in this DC comic review, I am reviewing The Flash Annual by Jeremy Adams and of course Philip Kennedy Johnson's Warworld Apocolypse, the finale. So I'll now get things organized to cover the first comic first, which will be The Flash, and then we'll be moving on to Superman. So, first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? Sure enough it is, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Great job, Jeremy Adams. Good choice for the cover. I'll now move to showing some of the internal art around the beginning, middle and of course the end, as well as some of the things that are happening story-wise, and then I'll give the art rating. So, as we start to look around the beginning, we've got Wally, along with Linda, and of course we've got Ace in there, the ace in the hole for the Flash family, coming in, trying to let Wally know what's sort of happening, and then he leaves, hoping that he caught everything he said, whilst Linda and also Wally actually spend a bit of time together. As the story advances, we see that Wally is reading a story within a story, and of course some of the things that we get to see happen in the story, really good, really amazing. Totally enjoyed this. And last but not least, towards the end, to which he finishes off his book, or finishes off the book that Linda has written, and with that, he also gets to catch up with his missus. So, for the internal art, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the story. Now, first things first, did this story have any comic references? No, it didn't, but you know what? For what it is, it's a bit of a one-shot story, but you know what? It's still a pretty good story. Moving into the next thing. Did we get any references in regards to, say, maybe story time? Or should we say the time in the story? About the closest thing we got were actually the story chapters, and one place that sort of came up in it was 8.2 kilometers later, which was really cool. I definitely enjoyed that. Moving into the area of location, we had New Mexico and a university. So we got to see some stuff happening with his missus, Wally West's missus, and of course we had Wally, Ace, and Linda in the cast of characters. So for the overall story rating, I really enjoyed this. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'll now move to the next story, which is the Superman one. So now we return to Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman. I must admit, this is better written than Brian Michael Bendis. To be completely honest. First things first, let's go cover art wise. Does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Now moving into the next part, and that is showing some of the internal art around the beginning, middle and end of this story. Starting now. So as things start to break out on the planet Warworld, we've got a bit of a revolution happening here. And lots of characters, some I don't even know. I'll now jump towards the middle. And as we start to jump towards the middle here, we've got Midnighter and Apollo. And I don't know, this is meant to look like a supposed scene that the Justice League are turning up. It seems a little bit hard to believe. Is it really that, or is it an illusion? It's... And last but not least, towards the end, to which Superman starts to farewell and head off. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move to the story rating, to which consists of, were there any comic references? Yes, there were, and it's really nice to see comic references, because comic references also connect to comic continuity. And we ended up getting a comic reference to Action Comics issue 1048. When we moved to the area of time, because time also connects to continuity, we ended up getting weeks later. The location, my goodness, there were a number of locations that were brought up here. Of course, we've got Warworld, where everything is taking place. Elsewhere, which felt a little bit lazy, but as we start to move on to the other areas, we had the Star Forge, the Engine City, and the Battle Palace, I think it is. The cast of characters consisting of Midnighter, Apollo, Superman, Krill Axe, Mongol, Orfo, and Orsor. And last but not least, I think it's Mac. For the overall story rating for this, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Well, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day. I would definitely recommend you pick up these series, which I've just reviewed. Let's keep it colourful.